What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP. I'm over here watching this Phoenix Suns game. You know what, man? This is some intense shit going on right now, man. Dallas Mavericks up 19-11. They kind of roughing Luka up out here, man. We'll see if Luka can play through this shit. You know what I mean? That's what great players do, man. You know what I mean? When you're a great player like that, when you're about to become a great player and shit, you get the team's best shot, both physically and psychologically. You know what I mean? But I'm doing this video, and Milwaukee Bucks beat the Boston Celtics yesterday, 103-101. Giannis Antekoumpo, man, what else can I say? 42 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Dominant from start to finish, man. And if this doesn't prove that he's the best player in the NBA right now, man, I don't know what this shit is. He's starting to remind me of LeBron's run prior to him coming about as a superstar and shit. Chris Middleton finally came to the party with 24 points. Outside of that, everybody else had a decent game. Wesley Matthews, mediocre to say the least. Brook Lopez was okay. Bobby Portis was all right. Bobby Portis was okay. You know what I mean? George Hill, wow, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing getting playing time? I don't get it. But great players rise to the occasion, man. You know what I mean? You still need your team, but great players rise to the occasion and shit. You know what I mean? That game was going back and forth right up until the third and fourth quarter when Milwaukee seemed like they took control, man. You know what I mean? Boston, on the other hand, Jason Tatum, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. Jason Tatum, 10 points, 9 of 28 shooting. I don't know, man. The athleticism and the size and length of Giannis is starting to get to this dude, man. You know what I mean? Jaylen Brown, you know what I mean? You got to think, Jason Tatum really hasn't had a great series when you think about it. Game 1, he was kind of mediocre. You know what I mean? Game 2, he finally broke out of that shell and shit. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, okay, he about to take off here. But then 10 points, you know what I mean? He was turning over the ball. He was shooting contested shots. You know what I mean? And it just got progressively worse as the game went on, and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, God damn, dude, how many more times you gonna shoot this shit? You know what I mean? You gotta make a smart basketball play, from start to finish. You know what I mean? Contribute other ways, besides scoring and shit. Play defense, grab rebounds, facilitate. But a lot of people are so enamored with scoring, man. Like, a lot of that shit gets thrown out the window. I mean, Jaylen Brown basically saved his bacon from this game from the Celtics not losing this shit by like 15, possibly 20 points. Jaylen Brown had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. You know what I mean? Grant Williams had an alright game. Al Horford, I don't know what's going on with him. He's been struggling. You know what I mean? I really think the size and the length is starting to get to Al Horford, man, because you got to deal with Bobby Portis, you got to deal with Giannis, and you got to deal with Brook Lopez and shit. Al Horford's really been inconsistent in the series, man. You know what I mean? Except for maybe one game set. The whole team is inconsistent, And it's like the little things is losing these games for the Boston Celtics, man. Turnovers, not get back on defense. You know, I don't know, man. It's like that defense was pretty elite in the last series with the Nets, but you gotta start to wonder were the Nets really that bad? You know, you gotta start to wonder were the Nets really were the Nets really that bad to the point where maybe Boston's defense is kind of getting overstated, overrated a little bit. Boston's defense is kind of getting overrated because it's kind of a facade against the Brooklyn Nets because Brooklyn was so bad defensively all around. You know, Brooklyn was like in shambles. You know what I mean? So we can't take. Every series is different. You understand? Every series is different. Every series is different. Just because you have success in previous shit, don't mean you're gonna have success the next. You got to adjust. But like I said, Giannis, man, Giannis, right now, he's dominating this series, man. Game one, from a scoring standpoint, he really didn't put his imprint on this shit. But you gotta think he was doing other shit. Defense, facilitating, playmaking, you know what I mean? Being an anchor on anchor in the defense. You know? So yeah, Giannis just put his input on the series, man, and Boston got to win game four, man. If they don't win game four, man, this series might be a wrap. Jason Tatum got to get a head out of his ass, man. You know what I mean? Because he really hasn't had that signature Jason Tatum game. I mean, he was dominating in the Nets series, but it seemed like this series, like I said, you're dealing with a better coach, dealing with better players, and you're dealing with a more well-rounded team in the Milwaukee Bucks. Now it's up to Jason Tatum to adjust to this shit. You know? He's has to adjust. He got to figure out a way. How can I affect the game? How can I affect the game by scoring? Getting back to what I was in the last series, number one. And number two, how can I affect the game? How can I affect this game from a defensive standpoint? What can I do with Giannis? What can I do with Chris Middleton? Scratch that. What can I do with Drew Holiday? What can I do with Wesley Matthews, Grayson Allen, all these guys? I got to start putting pressure on them so I can force the issue. So I can be, put my imprint on this series, man. It's crazy, man. You know what I mean? Now he has to, this is it for the Celtics, man. Game four is a must win for these cats. And if you're a Boston fan, you gotta wonder, man. You know what I mean? Milwaukee won that game, right? They even played their best ball. And you still had Giannis dominating. But yet, they had the chance to win that shit in the end, but yet, Giannis took the bull by the horns, right? Giannis took the bull by the horns and that closed him out. So if you're a Boston Celtics fan right now, you gotta start to worry and shit. Because Giannis dominated, and collectively as a team, Milwaukee Bucks didn't even have their best game. Yeah, looking at that game towards the end, because I'm gonna be honest too, I had left the house. Milwaukee was up 15 going in the fourth quarter. I had no idea that Boston Celtics cut the lead to like one. They actually took the lead like in the end, but it was too much Giannis, and Giannis was too dominant. But you gotta be real concerned if you're a Boston Celtics fan. If you're a Boston Celtics fan, you gotta be very concerned about where's the series at right now. You know what I mean? Like I said, Giannis was dominant, but Milwaukee still find a way to win the game despite collectively as a team, them not playing well. So, I don't know, man. Big up to Giannis. You know what I mean? He's established himself. He's getting that separation That's that guy. That's the best player in the league right now. You know what I mean? And he's been hands down the best player in these playoffs. You know, I don't think there's anybody been better than him right now. But for the Boston Celtics, you gotta. This is like a game 7 for these cats. This is a game 7 for these cats. Game 4 is a game 7 for these cats. Because you should have won game 3. You could have won game 3. But you let go of the rope. You let go of the rope. You let go of the bull by the horns in the end and shit. So we'll see what happens in game 4 and shit. But shout out to, shout out to Giannis, man. You know what I mean? He's hands down right now the best player in the NBA. And it wouldn't surprise me that at this point, Milwaukee Bucks win this series and go back to the finals, man, because he's that great. Even without Chris Middleton out there, they still haven't, outside of last game, actually the last 2 games, outside the last 2 games, Milwaukee Bucks are still a dangerous team collectively because they're feeding off Giannis and shit, you know? Excuse me. Yeah, they're feeding off Giannis, man. They feed off Giannis. They're definitely feeding off Giannis. And it's rubbing off on everybody, you know? But despite the Bucks being very inconsistent yesterday, and them almost letting that game get away, Giannis got him over the top. But yeah, hit the like, subscribe and shit, right? And yeah, we'll see what happens in game 4, man. Like I said, like, subscribe, you know what I mean? I'll holler at y'all later.